Hello, it's Corey from CFS Navigator, and I got asked what my daily routine is, and so I'm going to try to give that to you. Bear with me, I'm reading from notes, which is hard for me, so I'll start. So first, I sleep about 11 hours a day. I don't actually nap, but I do need that much sleep since getting sick. I mean, but when I was more severe, I slept more, but that's what I need now. So I usually go to bed around 10 and wake up around 9. I get dressed, I brush the cats, and I weigh myself. Weight has been a thing, and because Abilify causes weight gain, and that's the thing for another video. I used to wear an Apple Watch when I was more severe, but now that I'm doing better, I usually only wear it outside the house. I don't like having something on my wrist, so I don't wear that anymore. And I'm doing better enough. I don't feel like I need it all the time. About 4 days in 7, I eat breakfast. The other 3 days, I intermittent fast until noon. That's to help with the weight. I have POTS, so I drink a lot of fluids. I drink Drip Drop electrolyte mix. It's one of the ones that's easier to drink all day and doesn't have a lot of sugar and not so many vitamins that you can't drink it all day. I alternate that with glasses of lemon ginger echinacea juice, which is good for the stomach. I started drinking that when I was much more sick, and it was absolutely essential when I had gastro issues. And I had like this much juice and then filled up the rest with water to like a pint glass of, so this much juice and the rest water. I love that. It really helps. If I'm doing well, if I'm at the top of my baseline and I don't have anything big coming up, I'll do art, which is what I do. So I'll go down to the studio. My house has an actual elevator, which saves me from sliding, dealing with the stairs, which is a game changer. It's like a 1940s old style, little thing elevator. So I go down to the studio and I work for an hour, and then I'll come up and lay in bed for an hour, or at least half an hour to an hour. And then I go back down for an hour. And I'll do that as many as 4 times in a day. And that's about my max on my very best day. So I'll get in 4 hours of art. And sometimes I go a little over my hour, but I'm pretty good about stopping. While I'm laying down, I'll be online if I'm not aggressive resting. And that means I'll often be giving advice or resources on ME forums, on wheelchair forums, on POTS forums, though less advice on the POTS forums. I've still got a lot to learn about POTS. I'll be updating my websites, which includes the CFS Navigator website, my wheelchair travel website, which is My Wandering Wheels. And I also do a San Francisco-based community website that I also update. These days, I spend more time lying down in the living room than I do in the bedroom. So when I need to aggressive rest, I'll be in the bedroom with the shades all drawn and in the dark, or at least some combination of shades drawn depending on how I'm feeling. These days I can spend more time in the living room where it's brighter and be on the couch. So that's great. I'll do laundry or another household thing like emptying the dishwasher or something like that, alternating again with lying down. On a less good day, I can still like do a load of laundry or unload the dishwasher, which only takes a few minutes, and then lay down. I have a wheelchair, a power wheelchair that reclines, and a wheelchair van for going outside. And I can drive about 30 minutes safely and comfortably, and even on a less great day. So I plan on, if I am going somewhere, I plan on driving 15 minutes and allowing 15 minutes for parking, or if I know there's a garage at the other side, I can drive a whole half hour. So that's my dentist, for example. If the drive is longer, I will pull over halfway through and rest for 15 minutes at least. But usually what I'll do is I'll have my husband drive me or someone else drive me if it's longer. So I can do an errand, like a lot of the things that I need, like the pharmacy or my doctor, are within a 15-minute drive. That's my cat wanting in. Or the vet is 5 minutes away. So I can do that drive and use the wheelchair myself. It is much more stressful. I couldn't do that until more recently because sometimes you get harassed in the wheelchair and you need the spoons to deal with that. It's not easy being out alone in the wheelchair, but I can do it now. Lunch, I usually kind of graze. I'll eat like nuts and crackers and fruit and vegetables and things. I don't usually eat a full meal. It's usually less, and it's a habit from when I was more sick because it was harder to digest a whole meal. If, for those of you more severe know what I mean. At night, I cook a meal for my family most nights. I used to do this in parts. I can do a separate video of what my more severe day looked like. I used to do my my meals like prep and rest and prep and rest and prep and rest and then cook. But now I can pretty much do it in one go. And if I can't, we do takeout for that day, and that's fine. Let's see. After dinner, I usually, before bed, I usually take a bath or a seated shower. I can stand for a shower these days, but I don't need to. I try to save my spoons, so I only stand up when I'm rinsing off, kind of thing. But I take a bath that's not too hot, because before I got sick, I loved really hot baths. So now I do, more moderate baths. And I wash my hair. I used to, healthy me, wash my hair every other day. Sick me now is, between every 3 days and once a week, depending on how I'm doing. I also have my hair shorter. I used to have like hair down to mid-thigh, and I cut it like here, and I've kept it, between like a few more inches than that, and it's actually due a cut now, but that way I only have to cut it like every couple years, and that's the most maintenance I have to do. So I used to dye my hair. I had blue and purple and underneath, and bleaching and dyeing, and that is just too much effort. So as soon as I got sick, I stopped that. If I have something big coming up, like a day out or a night out, I'll usually rest before, and depending on how big it is, maybe half a day, maybe the whole day before, I'll aggressive rest or just rest more than usual. Just stay in bed, except for like doing like a load of laundry or something, or just except for doing dinner. And I'll do some amount of aggressive resting. There's other videos on what aggressive resting is. But that's like without light and less stimulation and everything. If I'm going to do something bigger, like a trip, I'll do aggressive resting during the day before, and I'll do much less the whole week leading up. If I have to pack, I'll pack days ahead of time so that I don't have to pack right before and use my energy right before. Then when I get there, I will aggressive rest for a day, until like dinner time, and then I'll eat dinner. So if we're staying in a hotel, I might eat dinner in the hotel restaurant or across the street from the hotel, but I won't go any farther than that or do anything more strenuous than that day. And when I return from a trip, I'll give myself a whole week or at least a few days, depending on the trip and how strenuous it was, but like 3 days to a week of resting, and just be more careful. Don't plan anything huge. So that's me at mild moderate. In terms of my day, I am walking around the house pretty freely, and I don't need to go from chair to chair anymore. I'm walking back and forth across the whole house. But I am using the elevator, which makes a huge difference. And I know that's like an amazing, insane luxury that I'm incredibly lucky to have. I spent a lot of time scooting up and down stairs on my butt before we moved to this house, and I know what that feels like. But yeah, with stairs, pace yourself on stairs, you know, rest a few times or halfway through or whatever it is you need for stairs. So I know that was a long post, but I hope that helped. And if you have other ideas for videos you want me to do, please let me know in the comments. And good luck.